Micah starts talking about the running back market and how it's depressed. So they were talking about the market and money. And this is where he may have let listen, it's not like it's the biggest leak in the world. We're all assuming that he's going to get an extension, but we don't know that, right? We're guessing that that's going to happen based off of how he played, based that there's only one more year, based on the fact that they could use the money because if they give him an extension, his cap will actually go down in 2025. So we're all assuming that it's going to happen, but he may have leaked that it may have already begun.
Like the year RB with NFL performances, you, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs. It was just like, as soon as everyone was like, running back's not important, running back's value went low, I heard about the group chat.
Yeah.
And then boom, 2,000, 1,800, 1,500, 1,400. My fault. It just seemed like y'all just went out of this earth. Do you think y'all bring the market back up? Do y'all, like, where's the running back market going now?
I hope it bring it back up. Like you just said, like, you got guys, I think, Saquon 2, I ran for 19. Bijan, damn near had 2,000 yards, all purpose. I mean, and Jahmyr almost had 2,000 yards all purpose. Bijan had a good year. Joe Mixon missing like 4 or 5 games, still going over 1,000. Had like 6 or 7 or 8 100-yard rushing games. Josh Jacobs. I mean, let's go on and on and on. We didn't show our value this year, and I don't even know what to say, but we definitely wanted to bring that spotlight back to the position, show our value, show how important our role is to a team. And speaking of Saquon having a hell of a year, so that don't show you, man. I don't know what else to say.
Respectfully, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all additions help transform teams.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
GMs, wake up. Let's get them running backs back in the market.
Wake up.
I always look at it as,
there we go. Yeah, man, clap. We need some clap, man. Clap for the RBs. We need some love. It was getting bad for us, bro. We was like kind of in the same market as the kickers.
oh wow.
The kickers getting the same. I'm like, oh man, come on now. Y'all doing us too bad.
Yeah,
no,
the kicker is outrageous.
That's what I'm telling you, bro.
Top kicker market is around $7 million a year.
That's what I'm telling you. So we was in that same market. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
oh no.
That's actually disgusting that she put it like that. I mean, and it's crazy because the linebacker market for inside is around 20 million.
Yeah, bro. It's bad. But Christian got paid last offseason, which that helped some, and hopefully this year some guys will be able to get paid. And
you think you're gonna re-up the money like they did
hopefully
Christian?
your boy be up or something.
That was it at the end. Are you gonna get new money? He said your boy is here. Let me rewind here. Let me bring that back up real quick. Let's see here. Just the end of it. Your boy be up to something is what I think he said at the end there.
Well, let me tell you. Let's pull this back up, and we got some breaking news as this is happening.
Oh boy.
Bad.
Well, let's
Christian
pause.
got paid last offseason, which that helped some, and
Let's pause. Should we get to the news?
Well, it's just perfect segue. I mean, Ian Rappaport just confirmed what we already kind of have been suggesting here, and that is that the Ravens and Derrick Henry are expected to begin extension talks. So there you have it. And I tell you what,
so we don't even need to replay it. Like, that's hilarious because to me, he kind of leaked it. He's like, your boy be up to something. When he's asking, are you going to get the new money? He's like, your boy's up to something. And right on cue, Ian Rappaport, they're going to have an extension. That is hilarious.
And I got to tell you, this is really funny. You're going to appreciate this. So
okay.
Ian obviously is a friend of the show. We brought him on during the offseason of Lamar's contract and Odell's ultimate signing with the Ravens. And was that the offseason? Am I thinking of the right offseason? I think I am. Because I ran into him at Preakness in Baltimore, and we caught up, and he agreed to come on the show. The last 2 radio rows, we've run into him. And when I say we, it was me this year, and then you and me last year. And Ian is always the coolest. Like, he's down to chat. He's down to hang out and whatnot. But he was really elusive with me this year. Like, and so what's interesting, when I did pull him aside and invite him on, I ripped off a couple topics real quick of what I wanted to talk about. One of which, of course, the headliner of the 3 or 4 topics that you and I discussed was this. And I'm just wondering if maybe, just maybe, He wanted to kind of protect what he maybe knew was coming, and which
yeah.
he's totally obligated to do
Yeah.
as an NFL insider for what was maybe ahead this week. And so anyway, he just on NFL Network made this public that the Ravens and Derrick Henry are set to begin contract extension talks. So that is your breaking news, and it's a perfect, obviously, timing here on this Tuesday noon hour as we literally talk about it right now.
Literally, the timing couldn't get any better. And Bobby, I want to dig into this a little bit of what a new contract extension might look like. So just as a refresher, when he signed with the Ravens last March, he signed a 2-year deal that was worth about $8 million per year. Okay. And the Ravens backloaded that deal. Okay. So he had a $5.1 million cap hit in 2024. That jumps to almost $13 million in 2025. So that's just the financial reason alone to extend him. But the football reason behind that, obviously, we all saw it was on display. And he made sure he corrected Micah. If you didn't notice, Micah tried to say he had 1,800. He's like 1,900. Oh, yeah. And if the Ravens wanted to force the issue, he obviously could have hit 2,000. They were using him sparingly early in the season. So that's where he's at. He's at about $8 million per year. So what could a new contract extension look like? Well, Brian McFarland of Russell Street Report at Raven Salary Cap on Twitter, or X, he already kind of put out what he thinks that contract could look like. So he sees a 2-year extension. So that means that you would have him locked up in Baltimore for 3 more years, 2025, 26, and 27. 2-year extension, 2-year, $24 million extension, which he says could reduce his 2025 cap hit, which I just showed you is just under 13 million, by as much as 5 million. So you do some math there, that's around 8 million plus that they get him to could get him to instead of just under 13 million. So that's what he's kind of looking at. Now that would be, like I said, his past contract was worth about 8 million per year. This would get him 2-year, $24 million extension. That's 12 million per year. So the Ravens would be upping him by 4 million per year. And as we heard in that clip from Derrick Henry, they're trying to get the market back up. So if he were to be getting 12 million per year, he's right there in the top 5, tied with the top 5. So he mentioned Christian McCaffrey, and that helped bring it up. Christian McCaffrey's average is 19 million per year. Then Jonathan Taylor of the Colts at 14 million. Then Saquon Barkley, who also was, a bit of a bargain. He was at 12.5 million. Alvin Kamara, 12.2. And then Josh Jacobs right there at 12. So what the Ravens would be saying with the deal, like what Brian McFarland is saying, is that, yeah, we see you as a top 5 running back, even though you're, 30 and over. So most of these guys, I don't know how old Christian McCaffrey is, but most of these guys, Alvin seems like he might be getting up there. But some of these top guys are a bit younger. Saquon's a few years younger, not a ton. So the one thing I just as a devil's advocate, if you don't mind for a second here.
McCaffrey turns 29 in June, to answer your question.
Okay. How long ago did he get that deal? Do you know?
The current one he's on?
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up.
Okay. So first I want to say I 1000% agree with Derrick. When the running back market started to hit kicker money level, then it's like, okay, we're going a little too far here. I mean, these guys are putting their bodies on the line. They're getting hit every single play. Everybody is, all defensive players are coming at them. I mean, it's just, they should be paid more than kickers. That being said, Micah Parsons said that all the running backs had transformed their teams. This is where I at least in the Derrick Henry and Ravens kind of marriage. Listen, obviously Derrick Henry is the best running back that has been next to Lamar Jackson. And Lamar's had some, he's had Mark Ingram, he's had J.K. Dobbins when he was a rookie, obviously much before his injury. Keaton Mitchell before his injury. But I mean, this is a future Hall of Famer. So obviously this is by far the best running back Lamar Jackson has had next to him. That being said, it was overstated, especially in the MVP conversation of Derrick Henry's impact on the team. And I felt like that was an overstatement from Micah Parsons. Like, the Ravens have always been a number one rushing offense when Lamar Jackson has been the quarterback. Lamar Jackson has that impact on all these running backs, and it's Lamar Jackson who helped resurge. Like, we talked about how it was a resurgent season. It was the second best was it the second best or best average yards per carry this year? I can't remember what it was. He was either first or second, but certainly much better than his previous like three or 4 years going back to 2019. And so I want this extension with Derrick Henry. I think he's worth the extension, and I'm fine with him being paid among the top 5 of running backs. I just feel like his impact and his quote unquote transformation on the Ravens isn't the same as what Saquon Barkley had on the Eagles, for example, right? Where they went all the way. So, and I just feel like that transformation was overstated in many ways to diminish Lamar Jackson's MVP bid.
Derrick finished with 5.9 per carry and 1,921 rushing yards. So
what was his average in 2019? Is it right there?
Derrick's in 2019?
Yeah, because I believe that was his best year.
His 2,000-yard year was 2020. Not to say that 2019 wasn't exceptional as well.
What's his highest yards per carry? Which year?
His highest yards per carry is far and away this year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So,
and everybody keeps talking about him. And again, and I this is such a slippery slope because like I said, Derrick Henry is the best running back that has been next to Lamar Jackson, and I want the extension. And at the same time, the Ravens went to the AFC Championship last year without him and advanced the divisional round this year. So I just feel like saying that he transformed the team, and I know Micah was talking more about all the running backs. I just feel like it's overstated.
2020, 2,027 rushing yards, 5.4 yards per carry on 378 carries. 2024, he had less carries this past season, obviously, when you have that kind of backfield with Lamar and the way that they were conservative with him early on usage-wise. 325 carries, 1,921 rushing yards for an average of, like I said, 5.9, which is the best in his career. So the previous bests were 2020 and 2019, where he had 5.4 and 5.1 respectively.
Okay.
So it was a transform, to use a word that we used for Lamar a lot this year. It was pretty transformative for Derrick as well.
Right. I think they helped each other. Like, there were times Lamar even said, man, I just love being able to hand it off to him and then he can go. Like, there were a couple games like that was just like Derrick Henry. Right. Yeah. But I can say this, Lamar's numbers since his rookie year until 2024 continually go like this. Right. Whether Derrick Henry has been here or not. Whereas Derrick was like this and then started to go down, and then he comes to the Baltimore and it goes back up.
And there's no greater beneficiary to your point. There's no greater beneficiary to Lamar's greatness than running backs have enjoyed year after year after year in that offense.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to the next thing with Derrick Henry and Micah Parsons here, is Micah started asking about, like, do you think that you could run back-to-back seasons for 2,000 yards again? Derrick answers that and then takes this conversation elsewhere.
I was hoping you get that back-to-back 2K.
I know,
that
bro.
2K.
I know,
2Ks.
I know, me too.
You think it's still possible?
Hell yeah. Anytime I suit up, I think I can run for 2K every year. Just depends on how the year go. But the gold jacket, is always a goal as far as, being a player. But I try not to think about it. I don't really get too caught up in it because there's so much more I want to accomplish. So hopefully at the end when I hang it up.
The Super Bowl is the last thing that you need?
I want the Super Bowl. I got to have it, bro.
That's the last thing.
That's
the missing piece.
That's the missing piece.
You got the Offensive Player of the Years. I mean,
that's the missing piece. I need it, bro. I need it. I'm going to be depressed if I don't get it. I got to get a Super Bowl. Please. Lord, right now, please. If you hear me.
I hate to do
Need
this
it.
to you, dog.
Don't.
You gotta do what Shady did.
I'm not doing that. What you mean, like, you talking about when he joined? No, bro, I'm not doing that. I can't. I'm not doing that, cuz. No.
I hate to say it.
No. I can't. No, bro. No.
Yeah, sometimes I always say, if you can't beat them, join them.
No, I'm not. Not at all.
Listen to this. Listen to
I'm
Mike.
playing with the quarterback I always wanted to play with, so.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you.
You said, yeah, go to the Eagles then, exactly.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now. In the next 4 or 5 years, once I hit that 30, and I'm not where I need to be, if that ring not right here fitted,
Bobby, could you imagine being a Dallas Cowboys fan and the star of your team? Like, I mean, he's not as big as Lamar, but he's the star of their team, or Dak. If Lamar is like, listen, I'm telling you right now, when I hit 30, if I don't have a ring, I'm out of here. Like, Ravens fans' hearts would like drop. They would just be like, just drop. The fact that he's like, I'm just letting Dallas know now, if you don't give me a ring, I'm gone. Whereas Derrick's like, not going to happen. What's funny though, is I feel like obviously the Ravens haven't won it yet, but him being in Baltimore puts him in that way more into the Super Bowl conversation than it ever did in Tennessee, minus 2019 when they obviously destroyed the Ravens in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
I mean, thinking back over the years of his entire career, yeah, he's more in the conversation now than he was in Tennessee.
I think there's two things we need to acknowledge here.
Okay.
First of all, that clip was pure comedy.
Right?
That's where I want to start. Micah enjoys clowning around on his podcast. So not sure if that was fully genuine, but clearly
I believe him.
Maybe. The second thing you have to acknowledge is that he's been a Dallas Cowboy throughout his entire NFL career.
Yeah.
One player on that Bleacher Report set is knocking on the dang door. The other's not knocking on any door, because as far as I'm concerned, Dallas continues, especially with some of their offseason hires, by the way. I could be wrong with Schottenheimer as their newest head coach with no experience prior, aside from play calling. But that to me seemed pretty peculiar, along with some of the other moves that they've made this offseason. And really, they have not been competitive more often than not. They've had some very, very above average regular seasons since Micah joined the team, but they haven't knocked on the playoff door considerably the way that the Ravens have, especially the last 2 years. I know Derrick was only a part of one of the last two runs that they've made in the postseason. So, yeah, maybe he was telling the truth now that I think about it, because he has not been able to even find a door to knock on, much less knock at all.
Although I got to tell you, like, Micah if Micah wants to go shopping, does he want to come join Lamar and Derrick over here? Like, let's go. I don't know if I need all those. I don't know if I need his podcast all the time. That would be a media circus, but put him right next to Roquan.
Be good for us.
Sure.
Be awfully good for us. The third thing I have to acknowledge.
But I don't like the distraction for the team, though. I can't put our show above that.
Listen, if there's one thing that I'm so jealous of, and I'm always reminded of it when I share a table on Radio Row with our friend Jake Asman, who covers the Jets, it's the sideshow circus that he gets every year that he takes advantage of, right? When Aaron is on with McAfee every Tuesday, when you've got players that have their own show up and down the roster, it's like an overabundance of content. The Ravens are too buttoned up for all that. But the last thing that we got to acknowledge too, and it goes without saying, how refreshing is that to hear from Derrick? You think I'm going to go in and essentially get a charity type of Super Bowl title before it's all said and done? Right. Oh, I understand who I am. I'm a first ballot future Hall of Famer. I'm somebody who's an ascending player at 31 and somebody who didn't feel like I could get to the mountaintop with the team that I was drafted by. Mm-hmm. And so I took an opportunity to go to Baltimore when I had other chances to go elsewhere, maybe for more. And I joined the Ravens because of Lamar Jackson, as he said in the past. And so, make no mistake about it. That's a refreshingly honest take that I think shows his competitive spirit and the respect that he has for the game right there.
And Bobby, you'll notice he said, "I'm already playing with the quarterback I want to be with." That was like his main reason he put out there that he's like, "No, I'm not going ring shopping." Like, because he used LaShawn McCoy as the example. McCoy went to the Chiefs and the Bucks and got a ring with both of them. So you could take that route, but Henry wants to build something with Lamar here. And then this is my last clip from the interview. This is him talking about what it's like to play with Lamar.
First year playing with Lamar.
Yeah.
What would you say? Because you spent your time in Tennessee. What makes Lamar Lamarvelous? Like, what was it like playing with him this year? Like,
I think I said earlier this year, like I was speaking to the media, I was like the stats, because you don't know what you're finna do.
yeah,
He turned around, he stiff on, you think he getting down, he back up. I'm like, oh, what the hell? So you get yourself caught just watching them. You like, oh shit, I gotta try to get the ball.
y'all remember free for all as a kid? It just like he out there playing free for all, like he just can't get tackled, like he just boom, 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 boom.
And it's so funny because like we'll watch film,
backyard play.
we'll watch film, and L will be scrambling. And then, coaches get on the media while we're watching film because everybody else moving around trying to get open. I'm just sitting there just watching what are you about to do? That's just how he is, bro. That's how he plays. It's like backyard football with him.
That's classic. You become a fan instead of a teammate because you're just like, I just got to watch this. And it's like, oh, shoot, I should still be looking for work right now.
How many years and years have we heard from offensive linemen that have played in protecting Lamar over the years? I just sat down with Justin Pugh on my personal channel, who's a former Giants and Cardinals offensive lineman, and now he's getting in his media career started. And he and I sat down for 15, 20 minutes on Radio Row, and I talked. I don't even think I asked him about it. It just comes up unprompted. He's like, I don't know how offensive linemen, you don't train to play with Lamar. You aren't taught to play with players like Lamar because he's one of one. So
OBJ said the same thing. There's there's a learning curve for sure to it.